Welcome to The Fix,
the new way to get your copy reviewed by two former copy chiefs.
because whether you're an aspiring copywriter or you've been in the industry for decades,
The best way to improve your work isn't to read books, blog posts, or online guides.
is to see real writing, your writing, being reviewed and improved in front of your eyes.
And that's the goal of The Fix, to bring you inside a virtual writer's room
And watch along as we review, edit and rewrite real copy.
from real writers like you. So let's get straight into this week's episode. And remember, if you like what you see here,
Please share The Fix with anyone you think would find it valuable. It is completely free. Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Fix. We're going to take a look at a piece of copy today, and I've got to say, I haven't yet figured out exactly what this is intended to sell. It's one of the strangest pieces of copy that I've ever seen, just in terms of its subject matter, not in terms of its writing style. So let's bring it straight up on screen, and you can see why. Glenn, can you see what's on my screen?
I can only see from, there we go, yes.
Yes.
I can see the headline now.
Yes. Sorry, I'd scrolled down. Okay. I'm going to read it aloud and then we'll take a quick look. Okay, so yes, your dog eats poop. Here's why, and this is what to do about it. So I'm going to struggle to keep a straight face for this one. Dear dog owner, dear Glenn, you're a dog owner. Dear Glenn, it is repulsive and embarrassing. However, you need to admit it. Your dog, like most other dogs, eats poop. As shocking as this truth is to swallow, you need to know why your pooch does this, what you can do about it. Your dog was born to eat poop. This is perplexing to us, yet normal for your furry family member. Before dogs were domesticated, they were scavengers. They lived off whatever they could eat in the wild. And this often led to them eating the waste of other animals and other dogs. Under the right circumstances, they would eat their own poop too. In addition, when a mother dog had a litter of pups, she would clean the den of her little one's waste. Dog behaviorists know this was to keep the den clean, as well as to get rid of any scent cues that could have attracted predators. Even today, domesticated mothers eat the poop of their pups. Some breeders believe there are good undigested nutrients in the fecal matter of newborn pooches. These nutrients are beneficial to the mother. We'll come back to the nutrients shortly. It's crucial. I'm going to stop there. And I stopped there when we were reading the copy ahead of time. So I don't know. That's why I don't know what the product is. But Glenn, I know it's sometimes hard when we do that. Sometimes we're reviewing copy. A couple of weeks ago, we spent some time with a bunch of copywriters where they often submitted a big load of copy as a lead, 4 or 5 pages. And we were reading maybe a page and a half. And it would constantly be a frustration, I could tell, in the room, people thinking, wow, I was going to get to the point. And our response was always the same, which is, well, you didn't. You didn't get to the point quick enough, and I haven't got time to read on, even though I'm being paid to be here. So I think you've got to take that approach sometimes when you're reviewing copy. So I'm gonna cut us off there, and we'll feedback on that start to the copy. Maybe we can look at the rest of the copy later, because I'm sure the writer would have come to the point, although I couldn't figure out what it was going to be. But I don't know anything about dogs.
I know you do.
I don't.
Right. You could read so much about dogs each night.
Well, I'm going to let you feedback on this because I think you're more the target market. But I would say there was some strong element. It is one big idea. It's about one thing. It's compellingly written in the sense that it's directed directly to me, you, the reader. It writes straight at you about one idea. So on that basis, that's the first thing I'm looking at. Like, does the copy speak to me? Is there a clear idea that I can discern? Because if those two things are present, then I at least think, well, you could test it. You could put it out there and let the market accept or reject it. However, if we want to increase our chances of the market accepting it, I think there are some other things we could do, which Glenn is going to talk about now.
So can you just scroll up slightly? No, or down rather. Stop, that'll do. So Yeah, I just wanted to get that thing. Good copy, strong headline. It's as you say, Nick, it's going for a 10. It's going to like shock and get you rather than like push you over the finish line, like nudge you there. It's going, hey, there's this crazy thing. I like the subhead. Here's why and what to do about it. Yes, your dog eats poop is interesting. I've not got that's for me. That's a testing headline. Like, yeah, you can test that. That said, my one, and it's all good copy. It's written well. Copywriter knows what they're doing. But there is a fundamental problem with this, and that's what I would say is, and it's before any of the copy, and it's understanding who your reader is. And I can say that as a dog owner, that I love my dog. I'm very close to my dog, which I'm just going to say these statements that make it increasingly sound weird and thing. But no, I do. I'm absolutely, he's like your best friend and all this kind of stuff. He sits there doing all sorts of dodgy business with his private parts and all this kind of stuff. And then I will allow it. Ruth won't allow him to lick her nose for good reasons, and but I still will allow that dog to lick my nose, and as a form of affection. I know it's repulsive and it's perhaps embarrassing, although I've apparently got no thing because I'm discussing it on what is potentially public platform here. But I know he poos, I know he eats rolling fox shit and all this kind of stuff, and does all these things that are repulsive and what have you. But I'm not actually repulsed by it anymore. I don't want to think of him as a repulsive animal, and that puts me away from when you're writing to a reader, when you're trying to sell them something, you need to be their friend, you need to be on their side, and you need to be putting your arm around their shoulder. Come in here, let me explain what's going on. Here, there's almost too much awareness of going, oh, it's repulsive, it's embarrassing, however you need to admit your dog eats poo. It's like, yeah, you already know that. And I'm not I don't claim that that's not a thing. What I think, the reason I'm saying, so that's putting me away from what I actually think. If you've thought about who the reader is and the fact that all dog lovers, all dog owners probably love their dogs as much as I do, they all know that they have bad habits and all this kind of stuff. But if you tell me that there's here's why and what to do about this, that's got me now going, well, I love my animal. I know he does all these disgusting things, but I don't really see him as disgusting. They're just animal things that they do. But there's something you need to tell me, and I need to know about this. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm hooked. I can be hooked by that. So what I'm saying is the fundamental thing here is that there's a disconnect that it's coming, and I don't know if this person owns a dog and therefore I've got it slightly wrong, or whether they don't own a dog and find the eating the poop angle interesting and are like, oh, that's interesting, I should tell people about this. But actually you've got to go beyond what's interesting for you as the researcher and say what's going to interest Glenn as the dog owner. And I'm more interested in what is the detail, what is that thing. So what if it came in with your dog eats poop, here's what to do about it and why. Dear reader, we all know, like, they do this thing and it can be a bit annoying, but there's a very important reason why, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you that you could actually be hurting your dog, or you could be, there's a good reason for this. What is the actual problem? I don't know what the problem is at the moment. As the moment he rolls in fox shit, I don't really care otherwise. I just have to shower him when he gets home. It's annoying.
Is there
a problem with that? I don't know.
You talking about your dog is really tickling me.
It's funny because you know me as someone who doesn't care about anything.
No,
so,
I can't.
But
I just can't imagine this side to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just frolicking in the meadows with my dog. But that for me is that there's, as you say, don't get to the point quite quick enough. I don't know if there's a problem with it eating poop, but I'm not really intrigued enough because you've pushed yourself away from me, and I'm going, oh, you're saying it's disgusting. You're saying my dog's disgusting? What are you on about? Like, you should go, we all know they do this, and sometimes we'll let them lick us and all this thing. Shouldn't, what have you? There you go.
Right.
That's how you got to relate.
There are three things that I think you could do to this copy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just didn't see and sometimes we all let them eat shit, and then often, if we're lucky,
We'll
lick us
have
on the
some
nose.
too. Yeah, it's just like chocolate. No,
three things I would do. One, I would be really, really. I don't have a dog, so I can't speak to the core emotion, but I do know people are, people are our audience. Dog owners are going to buy whatever this product is. So we've got to talk to the person. So do I want to repulse someone or put the idea of repulsiveness into their mind at the start of a sales pitch about anything? I would argue not. Now, like, you took that on a much more, you're saying it's disgusting. So you took that more personally, which is interesting, because I didn't at all. I didn't see it as coming at me. I just thought, yeah, it is disgusting, isn't it? Like, that disgust is a strong emotion, but is it a buying emotion on any level? I'm not so sure it is. I think things that are slightly disgusting are often sold in a very discreet fashion. They're often they're called euphemistic things. Do you know what I mean? They're the sorts of things that children can't understand what they are, because they're given a name that kind of hides what they actually do.
toilet duck.
Sorry?
Toilet duck.
Yeah.
He's a fun duck who cleans the shit out of your toilet.
Exactly. There's a sense of, it's discreetly sold. And I think that there is a reason for that. It's that I just don't want to disgust someone. It's just a very powerful but weirdly strong emotion. We spoke about this when we were in London a couple of weeks ago, Glenn. I was talking about, years ago, a junior copywriter I was working with who was writing about biotechnology. And he picked up on this story that was about somebody having their face rebuilt by this incredible technology. And it was incredible. And it was an amazing story. But the way the writer had chosen to go about it was about how he disfigured his face, which was a shotgun had backfired or misfired, or there'd been an accident and he'd been hit in the face with it. Okay. Now, there was a happy ending to that story because this technology had ended. But it was such a powerful image that I could see why the copywriter had been attracted to it. But it had its own center of gravity, is the way I would describe it. It was just so big. It was so hard to get around. And in the end, somebody just said, I'm not sure someone wants to think about that, I'm afraid. It just was the wrong thing. So I'd be really careful with disgust and repulsiveness. I'd be really careful with those emotions. I don't think I'm sure there is a piece of copy that successfully uses them to sell, but I don't know what it is. And I would be really, really careful. So that's point one. The other two things is this a problem or is this a solution? So there are basically two things that you could probably say to Glenn, the dog owner. Your dog's doing something and it's dangerous and you need to stop him. It could be harming them because he loves his dog. Or this could help your dog live a happier, longer life. The same way that you would sort of talk about a child, I guess. It's either going to be a benefit to your dog and it's going to make you happy, or there's urgency. You need to stop this happening. I think you need to come to that point much quicker. So I wonder whether or not the whole, yes, they eat poop is a little bit, it's slightly a hook without an idea, or a hook without a clear benefit. And I think
it might be there. We spoke about the kind of third line, fifth or sixth line kind of bit of copy that comes back in and kind of says what you're saying, all of this stuff, the hooky stuff, and then he goes, and that's why you need this thing. I feel as though it needs that to clarify, to fully understand what's going on. It needs that line there and go, and that's why you need to make sure Pablo doesn't do this, or he does do this. At the moment, I'm missing that. So even if I was happen to be taken in by a headline, I'm still like, I don't know what this is for. So it needs that little establishing whether it is a problem solution kind of thing at the top. Is it a benefit or is it a risk? I don't know at the moment.
Well, if we work the logic of that through, it can't be a benefit, right? Or it shouldn't be based on the copy. You can't repulse someone and then say, but you need to make sure they keep doing this, because that's wrong. That's quite clearly the wrong way of coming about. So the logical through line of that would be, it's disgusting, you need to stop them because it's hurting them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is that. And again, I appreciate that it's a bit unfair of us to read a short amount of copy and then draw conclusions from it and all these things. But that's the game. That is the game of copywriting. Your reader will not read to the end to figure out what it was about. And neither will a creative director or a head copywriter, or they will not give you the benefit that they will read a page and a half. And if they're not, I'm not going to say they have to be 100% on the hook, but they're not clear. They're not going to say, I'll just keep reading to find out what this is all about. That's just not how people, if you're watching a Netflix series and the first episode is confusing, you can't understand what's going on, there's nothing for you to kind of grasp, you don't think, I'll tell you what, let's watch all 6 episodes and see if it gets any better. You just don't do that, do you? You just dismiss.
I did with a recent series, but I'm not going to that. But that's
no, but that may have
I'm
been
a very bitter man. But that's it, you're right. No, and what I would add to that is, you don't actually want them to. You want people to look at it, react to it, and go, because that's what the real world is going to be like. So yes, if you've got like a director or a boss who's going to tease it out with you and help you do that, but really the more people you have around you who will just react and go, nah, that's really, really useful. That's what you want, because you need to get it up top and do that exercise in your head. How do I get you to read on, kind of thing? So you don't want people to be reading on going, oh, well, actually this is thing, because then that's someone else who's not going to give you a fully truthful emotional response to something and just go, yeah, no. And we spoke about this when we were speaking to a bunch of copywriters recently. You need as many people around you who are not going to come with all the baggage, who are not copywriters, who are not marketing people. They're just people who have just gone, yeah, no, I didn't know what the hell you were talking about within the first few lines, so I'm not reading. That is a very valuable piece of feedback. So
yeah, so I think probably we can kind of wrap this one up, because I don't think we should go on too long about this. This is a good example of a piece of copy that has a lot of stuff going for it, a definite sense of an attention grabbing device. I think you would have people, if you just saw that as you're walking down a street or something, it was in a shop window. I know that's a weird way, but if it was just there, I do think that idea could be, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
But if you're going to use that, and that is a device, it's a hook, it's an attention-getting device. I think I've spoken before, hooks are about attention, but we've got to transfer that attention into something more meaningful, and that has a kind of stronger underlying sales mechanics behind it. Like, I'm going to grab your attention with this, and very quickly we're going to talk about this and this and this, and that's going to lead me to my sale. If you're doing that, if you're dealing in the currency of attention, you need to be aware of that. You're in the sort of clickbait territory. Now that's a massive industry and it gets people in. But you've got to be aware of what you're doing. You've got to be willing, you've got to be able to bring it back around really quick. And that's where you need that really hard-nosed, cynical part of your mind that says, right, I've got eyeballs now. Within the next 25 words, I need to make it clear what's going on here and lay out a benefit for the reader, and an emotional one at that. And then maybe I can get back into this story, but I cannot rely on that hook lasting anything longer than, well, you're on the clock straight away, aren't you? It's like, huh? What's that? Oh, it's like that, isn't it? It's that long the reader's going to give you. So be aware of that. And I think if you can identify a great attention-getting hook, that is a real big tick. So it's clearly there. Then you've got to work that sales logic through.
I think the headline and stuff could work. It's just, it needs that straight away. As I say, my personal thing is think about where the reader is. Make sure you go into that person, and it's someone who loves and licks the dog.
Your reader in this case is a man being licked by a dog.
Yeah, but also, as you say, don't be too taken by your own research in the sense that, oh, this sounds interesting, this sounds like crazy. You need to do that, but then just put that to the side. And then when you've written the copy, oh, actually, I need to pay off my hook. I need to pay that off and get it quickly in there, like you say. But it's good.
Yeah, I think that's true. Right, Glenn, I know you've got to go, because where are you going on holiday tomorrow? Where are you flying off to?
Thank you, Mallorca.
Just to do what? Just for a nice little holiday?
Yeah, I was 40 last year, and I was 41 last week. But last year I didn't get to go on holiday for my birthday, so I'm seeing it as my kind of birthday trip. But yeah, so we're just having a week of nothing. Been very stressed and busy recently, so I've got 3 books to read. Guess how many of them are copywriting books?
Sorry, that wasn't 3. That was 0.
Yeah, no, I'll give you the review of those 3 books when I get
Although,
back.
of course,
one of them
I
I'm
know
very
that.
interested in.
Don't you reread your own book on holiday every year? As a matter of...
I've read that every week for the past 2.5 years.
Right. Well, I'll let you go. But as always, send us your copy. This is what we do. The fix is only as valuable as the copy we have to review coming in. So we can do as much as you like on webinars and blog posts. We've got some good feedback on those episodes that we did, and we've got more of that lined up. But I don't think anything quite beats the thrill of looking at a piece of copy and just giving instant and hopefully constructive feedback. Anyway, we'll wrap up there. We'll let Glenn go and pack those 3 books and his Speedos. What, do you take your dog on holiday?
No, he's going on holiday himself to his nana's for a week. He's looking forward to it.
And does she let him lick her on the nose?
I know he gets massages, but I don't know about the licking situation. I can't imagine they do. I'm probably exclusive on that one.
Right.
A very exclusive relationship.
I'll let you go and enjoy that. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We will see you next time. Thank you very much. And
Hope you got something valuable out of today's episode of The Fix.
Maybe it sparked an idea or 2 for your next writing project. Maybe it triggered a new headline, opening line, or story to tell your reader.
Maybe it inspired you to scrap what you have and start over. Or maybe it made you want to submit your current work in progress for a little constructive feedback. If that is the case, send your copy to us at feedback@thefixcopywriting.com. Or if you don't want us to review a specific piece of writing, send us a problem you're trying to solve
Or a challenge you want input on, and we'll do our best to help.
And remember, if you like The Fix, please do share it with other writers, business owners, and marketers.